right, boys and girls, let's take a look at our problem solving lesson that we worked on last week. Mrs. St. John had 9 granola bars. She gave 8 of the granola bars to her teachers. How many granola bars does she have left? This one, I set you up with a challenge because I wanted you to work on trying to solve 3 number sets with this same type of problem. And many of you did an excellent job doing that. I know it was a little different to navigate in Seesaw to have to show your thinking on 3 separate pages and solve those 3 separate ones. So I think I made it a little bit easier today. I'll explain that when we get to our problem for today. All right, so Mrs. St. John had 9 granola bars. She gave 8 granola bars away to her teachers. How many granola bars did she have left? This person did a great job explaining. Let me see if I can pull up my pointer there, make that big for you all to see. They used squares to represent the 9 granola bars. Let's check and make sure there's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then this person decided they were going to show that they were taking them away by drawing an X through the ones that Mrs. St. John gave away. And they X'd off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's 1 with no X on it. There's 1 granola bar left. And so that is how you solve that one. 9 take away 8 equals 1. Drawing a picture and crossing off what's being taken away is an excellent way to solve a subtraction problem just like that. Let's look at our next one. So one of your other number sets had 13 granola bars, and Mrs. St. John gave 3 of them away. I noticed that many of you were able to see that that was a teen number, and we can break up that teen number in a snap by having a set of 10 and then a few more left over. And this person was also able to show that by representing their 13 granola bars in the squares that they drew and crossing off 3 of the granola bars that were given away. If you take that 3 out of the number 13, all you're left with is your group of 10. And we know that about teen numbers. That our 1 in our tens place here really means 1 group of 10 and 3 ones. So if we take those 3 ones away, all we'll be left with is the 10. 13, take away 3 equals 10. Okay, and here is the other number set that you were solving. Mrs. St. John had 7 granola bars, and she gave 5 of those granola bars to her teachers. This person used a different math tool to solve this one. I haven't seen this kind of work in a while for my students anyway. I don't get to see all of your classes, excellent students, but I know your teachers are looking at your work each day too. So this person drew a number line, which many of you have used as a math tool in your classroom, or you've used those number tracks that look a lot like these here on the bottom, but they're all in a row. So you've used those as a math tool in your classroom before, I'm sure. And this person drew their own number line to help them solve that. And so they went all the way up to 7, the number of granola bars that Mrs. St. John started with. And then they recorded kind of, we call it the hops on the number line. How many steps back they're going on the number line to show how many granola bars were taken away. So let's start at 7, and then we're counting back 5. So you can use your counting back practice and your backwards counting that you've been working on with Mrs. Lukadu to help you solve this one. Start at 7 and count back 5. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And how many are left? 2. There we go. 7 take away 5 equals 2. Okay, let's have a look at today's problem solving. This one's a little bit different. You're working with some shapes. Mr. Smith has some shapes on his table. He's our art teacher, so he's got all kinds of great stuff in the art room. And today we're imagining that he has some shapes out on his table. Together, these shapes have some number of sides. How many sides could they have? I wonder what question we're going to be asking about these shapes that are on Mr. Smith's table. Give yourself a minute to think about that, make that picture in your mind. Mr. Smith has 2 shapes on his table. Together, the shapes have 7 sides. The mystery is, what are those 2 shapes? What 2 shapes could he have? So what shapes together could have 7 sides? It's a little bit of a brain stretcher. that you're going to really have to think carefully about. And you may have to draw several pictures and label several pictures to help you think about how to solve this one. One math tool that might help you is I wanted to remind you that pattern blocks have a lot of shapes and a lot of sides in them. So if you can remember using those in the classroom, maybe you could draw a picture of some of those. Maybe some of you even have some of those shapes at your house that you could use to help you solve this one. I wanted you to have those fresh in your mind because maybe Mr. Smith has a hexagon with 6 sides. Maybe Mr. Smith is a triangle with 3. Maybe he has a rhombus with 4. Maybe he has a trapezoid with 4. Maybe he has a skinny rhombus with 4. Maybe he has a square with 4. Or he might even have a rectangle with 4. Or another shape that you might know. Maybe you know about pentagons, octagons, and some other shapes that you could use to solve this one. So he has 2 shapes, and together the shapes have 7 sides. Which 2 shapes could he have? That's one of your problem solving questions you're going to do today. And you're also going to think about this one. Mr. Smith has 2 shapes on his table, still 2 shapes, but this time together the shapes have 9 sides. So if those 2 shapes together have 9 sides, what 2 shapes could those be thinking about that. You may have more than one answer to each of these too. So if you can think of a few combinations of shapes that can give you those 9 sides or those 7 sides, go ahead and show us. Show us how bright and smart you are, because we know that you are, and we can't wait to see your good work on this. Now on Seesaw, there are going to be 2 pages for you to record your thinking. The first one with the 7 sides, and then the second page with the 9 sides. So don't forget to click that arrow on Seesaw to solve 2 of these problem solving ones. Okay, solve them both and show your teacher that you know how to solve them both. All right, can't wait to see your great work later on this week. Have a great day, boys and girls. Bye.